Now, here's your host, Tom Dirato.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pat Jones Show. Tom Dirato along with Pat Jones, the head football coach at Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys are now 2-0 on the season after a 16-10 win over Tulsa over in Skelly Stadium this past Saturday night. And, Pat, if you like games with big plays, you would have loved this one.
It was a heck of a football game, which we thought going in. I personally thought it would be low scoring, although there was quite a bit of ball movement. And again, you got to give the youngsters from Tulsa a lot of credit as far as it looked like we had them knocked out. We were going to ice the game a couple of times, and they kept on battling, and it went again right down to the wire, 27 seconds left, and we get the sack that finally clinches it.
Well, the win gives you 58 on your career, moves you into a tie with Jim Lukabaugh for the most wins on a career. For a head football coach at Oklahoma State, congratulations.
Well, thank you. That's something I think at some point, like somebody asked me after the ball game, at some point we'll sit and reflect on that, and I hope it's 100 and something wins or what have you. But no, I mean, been fortunate to be around a lot of great players and coaches here, and hopefully that'll continue.
We want you to sit back now and relax. We're going to take you on a ride, a wild and woolly ride through the first half. When we return with first half highlights, stay tuned. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
First got
almost a near perfect night in Tulsa as far as the weather's concerned. About mid-70s at kickoff time. Little windy, Pat, and that's probably a factor.
Well, it was. Tulsa won the toss and deferred the decision to the second half, which we were prepared to do if we had won the toss. So again, now they're going to kick off with the win. We've got to drive the ball into it, and I think what we're going to see here is a pretty impressive drive.
Well, let's take a look at that first half highlights, and they're indeed coming down the ramp. What a festive atmosphere.
Well, it was Skelly Stadium when it's full, which is when we play over there, basically, is really a pretty neat place to be. And again, they're all gunned up. This was their home opener. Again, you can see our captains out on the field now, and our players were very anxious to play. I'm sure they were. Again, this is, like we've discussed several times, a very good rivalry. Yeah, they kick the ball off downwind, kick it out of the end zone. Again, I think we kind of got them on their heels a little bit in this first drive. This is actually Boogie Johnson breaks the first play. This actually gets called back for a holding penalty. Boogie ended up the night, I think, with about 90 yards or 87 or something like that, and had about 49 yards called back. And now we come back and run the same thing, and he does it again. Again, we come back off the penalty, make some first downs, again, running the ball, mixing up things. They jumped off sides once right there. Again, it was a little bit ragged in certain regards. We did that ourselves a couple of times, but again, this is a drive that sets a pretty good tone for this game. Again, we didn't really throw it around a heck of a lot. We just lined up and mixed up the running stuff good. As we'll see, mixed up the tailbacks and the fullbacks. Again, here's Boogie Johnson on a tall sweep. And, again, good positive yards. And we're cutting and slicing pretty good down the field and getting good movement. And again, awfully good drive. Okay, 2nd and 3. You can see we're still on our side of midfield now. And I thought Gary Porter, the quarterback. Okay, here's Joe Jefferson, the fullback, breaking here. We have got a little bit more running game with the fullback than we've had in other years because Joe Jefferson is a converted tailback who's got more run ability than a fullback that we've had of late. Here's the same play run. Again, I was going to say that I thought really throughout the course of the night, Porter had really a good grasp of things. Same play again. You can see it's a little off-tackle belly play, and we're pulling the guard. And again, we put this in last spring. But Gary had a very good grasp of things throughout the night. I really didn't think there was ever a time that he panicked. He took his lumps when he had to, and really I thought played a very good ball game mentally. You can see we're just mixing things up. Here's Joe Jefferson breaking again. I think as he gets repetitions and carries, he'll continue to get better. Mark Spatz, the other fullbacks in the ball game now, will break one a little bit later on. Okay, play action here. This was the 3rd and 16 or something. Gary comes back and throws. Fred Thomas makes a nice catch, and we keep the drive alive. Same thing again.
Right off his shoe tops.
Oh, yeah. I really don't think Gary had a particularly good night throwing the ball. For some reason, he was a little bit low most of the night. But again, the main thing was that he a little bit short. We're fixing to pick it up. But again, really didn't throw it wild at all. Okay,
tough run right there.
You betcha. We ran a little trap here. We used to have a trap game back several years ago, and we've actually kind of put it back in. And that, in fact, I think adds to our running game. Again, the fullback belly, and you can see Joe fighting for yardage. like we mentioned, Joe was a converted running back, so he's got some skills. There's a trap right here that he hits and bulls his way into the end zone. Same play coming up again. So now it's always makes people where they've got to defend the fullback and the tailback, and you can see it. Now he hadn't got a hold of this ball very good at all right in here. And of course he does have a very crucial fumble later on. Actually fumbles once and gets it back. I think in the second quarter, but we got to get him a little bit better with his ball protection, which we know, which he will. He's a very conscientious guy, probably as good a worker as we've got on the entire squad. Plays on a lot of special teams, good guy. Defensively, we pretty much throttled them in the entire first half. I think they had 65 or 69 yards or something total offense for the first half.
This is their third possession now.
Okay, this is the third possession. Again, they're going downwind, and they had a screen here. We had it covered, and he threw the ball in the ground. We had worked hard on that throughout the course of the week, and you can see we're faking blitzes and walking our linebackers in and out, and we've actually got the blitz on. Okay, Javon Langford, number 89, the true freshman from Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., in the first extensive action he's seen, he has continued to get better. He's had a very good week of practice. He is still very much rough around the edges, but he's got this acceleration and burst. Again, he's a talented guy that should continue to get better and better, and we alternated he and Skip Walker in. All right, this is where we get ourselves in trouble here. Tyner mishandles the snap on the punt. It was a good snap. He just missed it. Now they've got the ball on the 14-yard line. Okay, here's Keith Burns. We almost got him stopped here. But again, you give the ball to people down there, and you got problems here. We got a little blitz on. Throw the quick game. Pinned to their good receiver, just dropped the ball. Again, had a chance to catch it and didn't. Okay, now they come out, and again, we've got a blitz on. They run a little across the receivers and, again, hit it. They know what they're doing throwing the football, again, which makes them always explosive. They kick the extra point. Now it's tied at 7. The thing that really got us, obviously, in a problem, aside from just dropping the snap and giving the ball on the 14, was that when we had gone with the wind, we had a chance to punt them down. Our field position was tough on us in the first quarter particularly, and we had a chance to give them bad field position. Again, he mishandles this thing. Delvin Miles almost came out of this. Again,
First chance to see him going.
Yeah, again, he almost broke a punt return later on. Now, Tyner comes back in the ball game. This is downwind again, but he hits this one 67 yards, and he tends to run in streaks a little bit. And again, this is good coverage. Well, our punt coverage groups did a very good job throughout the course of the evening.
Werner seemed to have a good night.
Charles had a good night, number 35, had a good evening. Now, they're driving into the wind. Okay, Jason Gilden, who played probably his best ball game. But we can run pretty good. Again, this there's Link Harden 57, but we can run pretty good as a defensive unit. This group will continue to improve, and again, as some of these other guys grow up a little bit. Okay, here they throw this, and it got ricocheted up in there. I thought we had a chance to intercept it, but most of the night we were going with pressure, with good pressure. Okay, here it is right here. Boy, Gilden just really takes over. He hits Farrat, fumbles the ball into the end zone. Again, safety, Oklahoma State. Gilden is just dominating the ball game now. Same play. You can see Farrat steps up in like Lorenzo Green. He gives him good pressure. Gilden steps up, and I don't think Gus ever saw him. Splattered him pretty good. Again, probably they're lucky they fell on the ball and we didn't. But again, 2 points Oklahoma State. Now they're going to turn around and punt the ball off of the free kick and hit it and shank it. Actually, shank it, and it goes out of bounds. We get very good field position, which again puts us in good shape here. Just kind of got some crowd shots in here.
We sure do. We got the
shank. Okay, here it is right here. He shanks this ball off the free kick. Now we've got it on their side of midfield. I thought this is where we run a little naked bootleg here. Gary throws the ball to Derek Jones. A good solid run here. But I thought which is where we really got things going our way. And if there was both had bursts a little bit. I think both squads did. This was probably our where we had got the momentum and kind of kept it here when we got the ball down there on their end of the field and actually did something with it. And Tulsa's playing hard too. You can see them really zinging around. Okay, here we go right here. Boogie Johnson again on the draw. He cuts it back, and like we had talked about before, him spinning, twisting, doing those things. He lost a fumble, I think, here later on down on the goal line. We recover, but again, I think a good night for Boogie. This is only his second start. Second-year freshman, again, from Wheeling, West Virginia, who will continue to get better as he gets repetitions. We wanted to play Lewis Adams and David Thompson, the other freshman running backs. We got Lewis in about 2 plays and really did not get David in there. We wanted to, but it was basically too tight a ball game. Okay, now they jump again.
They were antsy in a couple of the series.
Well, they're aggressive defensively. I mean, we do the same thing. I mean, you've got those guys all wound up tight and everything. You'd like to tell them to watch the ball, but sometimes they don't. Gary Porter runs a quarterback sneak, make a first down here, and there's first and goal. Okay, actually this ball came out of here. I couldn't tell from the bench area.
Derek makes a big recovery.
Derek Jones recovered. Yes, now we turn around and run a sweep. They're all running down inside, and Boogie runs in untouched. But okay, we come in, kick the extra point. So now we've gotten it's 16-7. We have taken command of things again with the win. When we got them for the safety, and then we had good field position, took advantage of it. Gilden throws it right here. We get an interference call. Obviously it was. I guess it was. They called it. So we had it, but okay. Then they're down here on our end of the field.
Big play coming up here.
Yeah, it is right. Okay. They break. That's right. Scotty Harmon right here causes a fumble. Delvin Miles scooped this up, Tom, and from where we were standing on the bench, it was fortunate to get the ball. Obviously, a good hit by Harmon. Looked like Miles was going to scoop it up and run the other way. A good play, Scotty Harmon. Big play. Let's watch this. Here's Scott Harmon coming up again. They break here.
Big collision.
Bang! Yes, it is. Harmon's again a good hitter. Put his head right on the ball. Face right on the football, knocked it out. Charles Verner's around there. There's Bernstein. Miles scoops it up here and came fairly close to running the other way. We go in at the halftime with a 16-7 lead. Got pretty much control of the game. Know it's going to be close.
Well, a lot of big plays in the first half, but sit tight. There are a lot more here in the second half. We'll take a look at second half highlights when we return to the Pat Jones Show. Cowboys leading at 16-7 at halftime. Pat, what was the feeling in the dressing room?
Well, our guys felt like that we had done some positive things. Again, like we had talked about earlier, I think we had held them to 69 yards of total offense, so we felt in that regard we had a chance. Now, again, they had driven back down there, and Scotty Harmon had caused the fumble that we recovered. We had a couple of good drives and then started sputtering around a little bit. Basically felt like we had reasonable control of the ball game at this particular time. It's going to be their decision to start the second half. They take the ball, which now means that we're going to kick off with the win, which still was somewhat of a factor. Excuse me, and it's good for to put our defensive unit out there.
Well, let's get into the second half again. Cowboys out, crowd just getting ready back in their seats. It's going to be a whale of a second half.
Well, it is. Again, Tyner kicks the ball off out of the end zone. Again, this was happening about like we want to. Now, again, you got to give Tulsa a lot of credit here because they come back and really mount a pretty good drive. We thought we had a chance to get this ball intercepted. One guy's marking it the other way right there, and then the other one came in and waved it off. This will be kind of interesting here. Obviously,
you'll like this.
Okay, they didn't give us the ball, so I don't guess it really makes any difference right there. Whoa. Yeah, that's pretty neat right here.
No comment.
So again, now they've got it, and you can see that they're running their no back shotgun stuff. Throws the ball back, and that thing ricocheted off Richie Ainsley's foot.
That was a 3rd and 5, 4th and 5.
Okay,
here.
4th down right in here. He throws it. Good play, Link Harden. Runs down there tight end, so we stop him. So they got the ball down there, and they were having to go for it. Defensively, we held. Okay, now we've got Raphael Denson in at tailback, and Tulsa's getting after us pretty good right in here. We wanted to play him a little bit. Okay, Gary throws a play action, throws it back to Shannon Culver. Again, we did not attempt a lot in the throwing game. Okay, here's Tyner, who comes in now and kicks this ball out on the 3-yard line. There was some debate, obviously, on what to do down in here. We're going in. We're downwind a little bit. I'm sorry, into the wind. But now he almost slipped on that logo, yeah, and then comes in and kicks it and goes out on 3. So we're playing well defensively. We've given them a long way to go, which is exactly what you want to do. So, but again, to their credit, they mount a pretty good drive and get down on our end of the field.
Here's the last play of that drive.
Okay, they throw it in the end zone. They try to throw verticals. Charles Verner, 35, makes a nice interception. So again, they have taken the ball, and I was getting concerned that our defense was wearing down. We were on the field a lot. Again, now Tulsa has gotten the ball back and is driven down there and kicks the field goal.
Now we've got a race here in the 4th quarter.
Okay, so now, yeah, we're into the 4th quarter here. Okay, he throws back across field. 89 Kedzior, this was a crazy play right there. Fumbles the ball and it gets bounced all the way down. This is the final drive right
here.
Sure is. So we have actually driven down and had a chance to ice the game and have fumbled back to them with 1:47 left. same play we saw before. They're throwing the little underneath routes.
You won't believe this.
Here, Kedzie gets it. Now the ball is fixing to squirt out right there. Just lose it. It's going to go right through several people's hands right there. They tried to scoop it up and didn't get it. Again, it just keeps on ricocheting down the field. They get it. So this is really getting tied in here. There's the clock, 32 seconds left. Okay, this is the last play of the game right here. They had taken a couple of cracks at it. Same thing coming up again. Jason Gilden is going to, who has really dominated play, is going to outrun the backside tackle. Again, cause the fumble on Farrat and make the recovery himself. So
can't
here
do
he
much
comes.
More, can
no,
you?
you sure can't see it. Gus never did see him. Good play, Gilden. Gilden's going to recover the thing. Lorenzo Green's around the ball. Jason recovers it himself. So again, we didn't see the drive time. We had a couple of pretty good drives. We didn't see the one where we went down the field again and have got it. You're going to ice the ball game. Apparently, Joe Jefferson breaks in a clear and fumbles the ball. They get it with 1:47 left and drive down, and that's what we saw here. So, I think all of us were. I think all 40,000 people in the stands were. A heck of a finish.
Cowboys win at 16-10, and Pat, we've talked about this so many times. The big players, the big-time players, always come up with the big-time plays when you need them.
Well, they normally do. Again, in this series or most any other ball game, a guy that's really got ability, that's playing well, when it gets right down to the make or break part of the ball game, they're going to make the tackle or make the sack or make the catch or make the run or make the throw. Again, you can be a good player and not have the ability to dominate at that particular time. But again, the key guys did, and our guy Jason Gilden certainly did.
Well, a big win. Cowboys 2-0 on the year. Stay on the road this weekend. Go to Arizona State. We'll take a look at that game and bring you a lot more when we return to the Pat Jones Show. The Cowboys win at 16-10, go 2-0 on the year. And Pat, our numbers of note from this game reflect the big plays that took place.
Well, I think, again, like most ball games, it is a game of big plays. We forced 3 turnovers out of them, had 5 sacks, and had a bunch more pressures. And again, Tyner got off the 67-yard punt immediately following the one he had mishandled. So again, heck of a ball game. I think you got to credit both clubs, and we feel very fortunate to be 2-0.
Cowboys put that game aside now. Preparation for Arizona State, a big road trip for this club, and a lot of new people getting a lot of new experiences.
Well, it certainly will. Again, there's a lot of factors involved in this thing, aside from the fact that Arizona State's got a quality football team. They lost. They had beaten Utah. You don't know what to make of this relative score stuff. Again, they beat Utah very handily in their opener. Now, in turn, Utah has beaten Kansas, who I think has got a good club here the other day. So you don't know quite what to make of that. And then Arizona State loses to a good Louisville club at Louisville. So again, now we've got to go out there and play. Again, we're just thankful right now we're 2-0, want to go out there and play well.
You know, it's a small world, world of college athletics, and certainly as we look ahead to that game, very significant date coming up, September the 8th, 1984, special for you.
Well, again, I don't sometimes feel real comfortable about talking about it a lot, but again, Jimmy Johnson has left and gone to the University of Miami in June. I become the head coach, and again, I go from taking a bunch of defensive ends down the corner of the stadium and trying to get them to play blocks to run the program. And we go out and open the season at Arizona State, and they're picked in some circles to be number 1 in the country, and we literally hammer them, blow them away, because again, that was Leslie O'Neal and Rodney Harding in a group that ended up being I think 5th in the UPI and 7th in the AP and 110 ball games and all that. Now, this is our first real road trip. Again, we went and spent the night at the Tulsa last week, but now we're getting on an airplane. It's like most other squads, we got a lot of young guys. Some will be the first time they've ever flown in these sorts of things, so we got that to look forward to. But again, they're great defensive ends, Shante Carver, Mario Bates, the quality tailback. Again, they're going to be well coached, and they're going to probably be upset, obviously, because they lost one at Louisville. Again, and like our football team, like any other one around the country, we just got to try to get better, go out there and play a good ball game and see what happens.
Well, it'll be a great ball game. We want to invite you back next week, when we'll take a look at that one and look ahead to the next home game, again, 2 weeks from now against TCU. Glad to have you with us this week, and we will see you on the Pat Jones Show next week.